Oh, hello. How are you all doing today? So it's been a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been a while. If you're only coming here because of Oversimplified, it has been a while. But if you've seen my other stuff, then it hasn't been that long, bro. I can't get these headphones in my ear good. I need like another earbud piece, and can't find it. We're just gonna get right into it because like, what do we need to explain stuff for? Like, who does that anyway? Like, just that's not what you came here for, right? We don't have that kind of relationship yet, so I don't need to tell you where I've been, what girls I've been seeing. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go. We're looking at the Second Punic War by Oversimplified. You're gonna see me mess with this a lot, but that's just because it's so weird. I don't like it. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
This video was made possible by Incogni.
It's by
Use code
Oversimplified.
Oversimplified in
Use
the
that
link below
code, even
for
though
an
I think this video
exclusive
came out
60%
a few
off
years ago.
an annual Incogni plan.
Okay,
Also, make sure to grab our Roman Consul U2s before
Yes.
it's too late.
grab that.
Don't make me mention it a third time,
Oh.
or I'll you know what.
Hey, yo!
Hannibal.
Ridiculous. I forgot what I was gonna say. Listen, do I remember this video because it's been like 8 months? Of course I do.
Hannibal's army had survived its famous crossing of the Alps.
Yeah, that
and
was
he
wild.
now
I remember that.
in Italy. With Hannibal's arrival, the
Hannibal
Roman
needs to
consul
relax.
Scipio hit the ground running. In typical Roman fashion, he marched his army straight at the enemy.
Don't question my choice of drink. Don't question it. Be quiet.
And Hannibal began preparing for his first combat with Rome on Italian soil. Before the battle, Hannibal wanted to inspire his men, so he staged a gladiatorial death match between captured Celt prisoners, with the winner getting prizes and freedom. He then explained that the whole thing was a metaphor.
Of course.
A metaphor? For what? You! These warriors are you! You're trapped in Italy with no escape. Your only choice now is to fight and win. What about the dead guy? That's you if you don't win. And the prizes? That's what you stand to gain by winning. And the fact that I've soiled myself in all this excitement? No, that's not part of the metaphor.
No.
Okay. Hannibal also smashed in the head of a goat. Again,
Oh.
for inspiration.
Inspiration.
Scipio, on the other hand, now arriving in the area, opted for the more classic route of a rousing pre-battle speech. Look at them, men. Weak, starved by the Alps, while we are the strongest military in the world. This will be easy, like 10,000 horse-sized ducks fighting a baby-sized baby. It'll be like Mike Tyson in his prime,
Wait.
kicking a baby.
How do you know about Mike
Tug of
Tyson?
war between 10 sumo wrestlers and help me out here, Ralph. A baby, sir? Yes, that's it. A
Right.
baby. The point is, there is absolutely no possible way
No
we
possible
could
way.
lose a battle this easy.
Of course
So,
not.
If everybody's ready, on my mark.
Yes. Kill them. I'm sorry. Bro, I hate this earbud right now. Oh, snap.
The Battle of Ticinus was over almost as soon as it had begun, as the Romans found themselves completely outmatched by Hannibal's famed lightning-fast Numidian cavalry, a key element in Hannibal's devastating double envelopment tactics. In the chaos, Scipio was wounded. Thankfully, according to some ancient writers, his handsome 17-year-old son, Scipio the Younger, saw his father fall. Scipio the Younger supposedly saved his father, and in the process...
Hey, yo, listen. That's actually kind of sad to watch your father die. It's kind of sad, it's funny, ha 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 ha, ha, but, kind of sad. But, then again, I guess in the times, it was kind of like, hey, bro, did what it did. I don't know what I'm talking about.
earned himself a lot of daddy's kisses.
Oh,
The Romans ended
okay.
up fleeing the area, destroying
Whoa. I'm
the
sorry.
bridge behind them as they went. For a nation so overtly confident in victory, believing Hannibal to be an easy kill, the Romans found themselves running away with their tail between their legs. It
Sad.
was humiliating.
Yes.
And you know who thought so as well?
Who?
The Celts. They began
Yeah.
flocking to Hannibal's side, just as he'd hoped. Even Celtic troops fighting for Rome in the Roman camp began to reconsider. Man, I'm thinking we should try to join Hannibal.
Oh?
I hear you. Maybe we should bring him a gift. What do you think he'd like?
The heads of all these soldiers?
Oh, I know. Hey, Hannibal. We want to join your side, and we brought you a present. A gift? For me? I hope it's Roman heads.
Yeah, I was like, that's what he'd like.
Please be Roman heads.
Yeah. Yep, I figured. I knew it. I called it.
How did you know? Running away from Hannibal was humiliating enough, but having dozens of Romans beheaded in the night.
They were actually
Now that's
beheaded? Oh my
embarrassing.
gosh. I didn't think that. I thought it
Ticinus
was,
had been a relatively small battle.
I thought it was like, I don't know, a joke. But no, they were actually beheaded. Is kind of crazy. Actually beheaded. Bro, I'm going to be messing with this earbud this entire time because it just won't. I need to find the other ear tips, but I don't know where they are. I put the box somewhere over here, this side of the room, and I don't feel like looking for it because it's like, there's a mess. I'd show you if I could, but it's a mess and I don't feel like looking.
But the psychological impact it had early
I can
on
hear fine.
was huge,
Kind of.
and it was only just a taste of what Hannibal was capable of. Despite the shocking initial loss, however, Rome still didn't seem to fully understand the danger posed by the monster now loose in their territory.
Do you ever think about how weird war had to be back in the day? Because, like, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have radios and all this other communication stuff. So, like, war must have been, like, very weird. Like, you have Rome, that's the capital. How long is this video? 37 minutes. So this video is gonna be like an hour. Anyway, you have Rome, that's the capital. Oh, I just hit the microphone. You have Rome, that's the capital. And then you have the soldiers and the troops all the way far up in the mountains and the Alps and all that. And so when something happens up in the Alps, they have to come down and communicate it. Like, how do they know their troops lost? Like, somebody has to survive the battle or witness it and come all the way back to Rome and be like, oh my gosh, we lost the battle. They need reinforcements. Like, today, things are so much more centralized, but I can just imagine that back then, everything was a lot more decentralized and more individual leaders had power and more power and whatnot, because, like, you couldn't always communicate everything to Rome super fast. 'Cause, like, to get to Rome probably took days, then even by horseback to get all the way from the mountains and the Alps to Rome, it probably took days. So, like, getting commands back and forth and all that, impossible. That's also what I was thinking of when we had all the naval battles in the first video. We had all the naval battles and all that we saw through all the Punic Wars that we've watched this far. We've only watched one other Punic War. When we saw the naval battles, like, how did the ships communicate with each other? How did they know we're going this way? Did they just follow the lead of a command ship or something? I don't know. It's very interesting to me how they communicated back then.
The Senate was full of excuses. It's those traitorous Celts. That's
Right.
why we lost.
Yeah.
And it was a cavalry battle.
Copium.
Wait until Hannibal faces
that a word
our
people
almighty
say?
legions.
Copium?
And our consul was bald. Once he faces our other fully follicled consul, then he'll
Yes.
really pee his pants.
Yes.
That other consul, Longus, had been in the south all this time, preparing to invade Africa. He had seen some success, even capturing Malta. But then he heard the news. Hannibal's in Italy, and I'm being ordered home. But I was gonna be the big boy. I was gonna invade Carthage and win the war. Well, you can be a big boy at home. No!
What
Does
you mean, no?
somebody need a nap, sir? No!
Why are you so upset, bro?
And so Longus brought his
Getting
army on the
Hannibal
long
is as
journey
good
north.
as
When he arrived
Hannibal.
in the area to decisively neutralize Hannibal, the two
Wait, did I
consuls
say that?
joined
I
their
said that
forces
completely wrong. I meant getting Hannibal would be as good as getting Carthage, because they're absolutely embarrassing the Romans right now. It's ridiculous.
together, creating a double consular army. But the two consuls weren't exactly on the same page.
Of course.
Having a nice rest there, old man?
Oh,
I
wow.
wounded Longus. Pathetic. You don't understand. He's more dangerous than we thought. Maybe for you.
Oh,
Whoops.
snap.
Listen, we can't just march straight at him like we normally do. We need to train our men through the winter, and we'll try again in spring. Sorry, I don't take advice from a bowling ball. Hey, I'll kick your ass, Longus. Any day
Oh,
now.
wow.
I'm coming. Just you wait.
Such advanced technology they had back in, what was it, 218 BC or something? Such advanced technology.
Oh, Scipio, you feeble old man.
Yeah.
Scipio was apparently quite cautious after his recent
Okay.
encounter with
That didn't
Hannibal,
actually
while
happen, did that?
Longus, typically Roman, couldn't wait to give Hannibal a swirly.
Of
So
course.
who would get their way? Well, when two consuls
Neither
joined
one.
their forces, it turned out the Romans
Or both.
had an interesting system in place. They would each take turns being the one in charge.
Of
Consul
course.
1 would lead one day, then Consul 2 the next.
That is the
Back and
dumbest
forth,
idea
back
I've
and
ever
forth.
heard.
As you can imagine, when the two consuls didn't agree, things didn't go so well.
Yeah,
In
I
this
imagine.
case, due to Scipio's injury, Longus probably assumed even more command than normal. Hannibal
Yeah.
had Celtic spies in the Roman camp.
Of course.
He fully understood the Roman system and Longus's hot-headed
I thought y'all knew not to
nature,
trust the
and
Celtics
he
anymore. I
knew
just wouldn't trust.
He could exploit it.
I just wouldn't trust any Celtics. I'd be like, all of you have to go. I'm sorry. It's like, it's discrimination or whatever you want to call it. But I'm like, I can't trust any of you. It's a time of war. Get out of my camp. No spies. Just have no Celtics. Unless people are like undercover Celtics or like they're part Roman, part Celtic, but they lean more Celtic. You know what I mean? Politics.
sake!
Or
What's
something.
wrong, sir? I'm trying to
War.
order some pizza, but I keep getting fed all these personalized ads about being a hothead. I'm not a hothead, am I? No, sir. Look at this. Butt insurance? Who would buy butt insurance? Yeah, that sounds really stupid. Sir?
Hey, yo. He kind of thick. But, I was going to say, well, somebody would. I mean, there's insurance for everything. The other day I learned there was, I forgot. It was something ridiculous though that was like insured. I can't remember. It was something, but it was something ridiculous that I didn't know could be insured, but was insured, and I was like, really? I mean, we get our lives insured. We get our cars. I could get this piece of plastic bottle insured because America, capitalism, something.
It seems like a lot of data brokers have collected data on you. They could sell that data
I know this is an ad for Incogni.
to Hannibal. What? But don't worry, because you can get rid of that data.
Thanks to
with
our sponsor.
Today's
Yeah,
wonderful sponsor.
I got you.
Incogni. Hooray! I've been getting at you for some time to protect your personal data online. But you're a nimwit, aren't you? You didn't do it, did you? Typical. And now would you look at that? Tons of data brokers have collected a heck of a lot of your personal data and might sell it to third parties like advertisers or insurance companies without you even knowing. Ever wonder where Sally from the Butt Insurance Company got your name, number, address, social security number, and favorite color from? Probably a dirty data broker. We could painstakingly contact the hundreds of brokers that have our data and politely ask them to delete it. That process would only take the average human about 3,000 years.
Okay.
And that's why you need Incogni. I was shocked to find how many
Incognito.
data brokers Incogni had
I don't
trapped,
know what I'm talking about.
potentially selling my data. But all
Why am I watching this ad? Because... So listen, I don't know if you heard that or not, but if you did, it was a, you heard that scream. It was my niece. I would edit it out, but I don't feel like it, you know, seeing as this is my first video back and all. Anyways, we're getting back to it. I just changed the ear tip on this, and I don't know if it worked. I tried to go with a smaller one, didn't fit. So now I have a super large one, and it hurts my ears only slightly. Let's see, back to this Incogni ad that I'm probably going to skip through now because I'm very upset because it was so hard to put this ear tip. Anyway, you don't care.
all I had to do was let them If you want to get an Incogni
Do that.
Porting
Go to
Mike,
Incogni Oversimplified.
Roman
We
heads,
appreciate
a
it. Okay.
double consular army,
Yes.
and a hothead. Hannibal needed to keep smashing the Romans in battle in order to maintain the loyalty of the
But we're only
Celts.
9 minutes
and
in.
so he was eager to fight another battle. The combined Roman force possibly outnumbered him, so he carefully crafted a clever trap, and he made sure to spring it while Longus was still in charge. The plan
That's what I'm
began
talking about.
with his army getting an early night's sleep. All right.
You know what's so weird? I don't know who to root for. Like, do I root for the Romans? Do I root for Hannibal? I kind of like Hannibal, but like the Romans are chill too. Well, they're not chill, but I don't know.
Boys, time for lights out.
Aww.
Sorry, but we got a big day ahead of us. Tomorrow, we're gonna massacre the Romans.
Yeah.
Good night, boys. Dream of revenge.
I knew it.
Gorzog, send out the cavalry.
Who the crap is Gorzog? Oh gosh.
That night, Hannibal's Numidian cavalry made their way over to the Roman camp, arriving just before dawn. Hey, Romans! Wakey, wakey! What's going on? Hey, Longus, your butt smells like a butt.
Oh wow.
Does not! Scipio! Awaken the troops!
Who would have thought?
Longus, these playground insults are clearly meant to lure you out. Well, it's working! Send out the troops. Longus, it's clearly a trap. And I'm falling for it. Send out the troops. Hey guys, wake up. You're heading out for battle. What? But we haven't had breakfast. We're skipping breakfast. I don't think you can do that.
You
As
can't
the
do that.
Romans
It's
hurried
against
out
the
of camp,
law.
The Numidians began luring them back to the Carthaginian camp.
Of course.
Where these gentle angels were just
Never
awakening
mind. I'm fully on
from their
Hannibal's
slumber.
side. The Romans
Look,
are
boys,
absolute
we're
idiots.
having pancakes. While the Carthaginians
That's what I'm
were
talking
enjoying
about.
their
They're eating
hearty
their breakfast.
the starving
Meanwhile, the
Romans
Romans
were
suck.
still on their way. Hurry up! We have to catch those Numidians.
Are you whipping them?
Why have
Hey.
you stopped marching? Longus, there's a freezing river in front of us. Well, get your gluteus maximus in the water.
Hey, yo. Bro, this is abusive.
All
What
right,
is
boys,
this?
time to lather up. This oil will insulate you from the cold. It also smells like lavender.
Of course. Bro, they're chilling over
There's
here.
the Carthaginian camp. Get ready to
Absolutely
fight, men.
chilling.
Sir, I think the water from the river is beginning to ice over.
And what about him? He didn't run in the
can't
darn
believe-
ice.
Oh, I'm
Huh?
sorry. You thought war would
Longus?
be fun?
What kind of
Sitting
name is
around
that
a nice
anyway?
hot campfire playing Truth or Dare with your friends? Welcome to the real world. Truth. Who do you like? Sharon.
Oh. Oh.
Look, guys, the Romans are here. Having
Oh.
perfectly orchestrated events so that his enemy was cold, tired, and hungry, while his men were well rested and covered in oil.
Oh,
when
wow.
the two sides engaged one another, the Romans were in no condition to fight.
Yeah.
And the cherry on top, the previous night, Hannibal had sent out an elite force of men led by his brother to go and hide behind a bush. They suddenly sprung out, encircling the exhausted Romans, who were then cut to pieces. Once again, Hannibal's superior cavalry and double envelopment tactics had flummoxed the Romans. But the key word at Trebia was control. Hannibal used his intel on the enemy and the environment of the battlefield to carefully control the conditions of battle, creating lots of little advantages for himself that paved the way to success. And concealing troops for an ambush?
A proper
All
general.
of these things are what make Hannibal the genius he's remembered as today.
Yeah.
As for Longus, he managed to escape the battlefield with a small number of troops. Disgraced, he didn't want the Senate to find out what had happened.
No,
and
no,
he
no.
began
Let them find out,
obscuring
please.
communications back to Rome.
What communications?
Longus, where have you been? We've been looking for you. Nowhere in particular. Longus, 30,000 men are missing. Do you know where they are? They're taking a bath. 30,000 men? All in a bath? Yes. Longus, what's under that rug?
Oh, a bunch of dead bodies.
Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis?
Under the rug?
Oh, well, that's my consulship over. Good luck with Hannibal. Bye. Trebia
Really, bro?
had been a disaster for the Romans. And as even more Celts began flocking to Hannibal, Rome largely lost its control over Cisalpine Gaul.
Of course.
In Rome, complacency turned to alarm. Hannibal had outwitted them on their own soil and inflicted a costly defeat. But with that, Scipio and Longus's terms as consul were over.
Yeah.
They were replaced with two new consuls.
One of those guys looks
and
crazy.
Flaminius.
Flaminius
The
looks like
Romans may
he's
now
ready
have
to
begun to
chop
realize the
someone's
trouble they were in,
you know what's
and the
up.
genius Hannibal had shown in invading Italy. The Romans had expected to be the ones controlling this war. Remember, they thought they were going to invade Carthage. Now their plans lay in ruins, and they were levying 11 new legions to deal with the threat.
Right.
Hannibal had completely redefined the war.
I have no faith in Rome, but like I don't think Rome burns. Yeah, does it burn because of Hannibal? I don't think it does. So like Rome still has some life in it, I think. Does it? I don't know. I don't know history that well. I'm American.
But Hannibal had a little problem of his own. Things had gone well so far, but the Celts were notoriously fickle, and Hannibal needed to ensure
my
he
gosh.
maintained their alliance and his base of support in Italy. Any Celts he captured fighting for Rome, he treated extremely well and allowed them to return to their homes. But the longer he hung around in their territory, eating all their food and leaving beard trimmings in their sinks, the more resentful they may become.
Oh.
They wanted to go south and plunder some Roman booty.
Of
And Hannibal
course.
also hoped to sway Rome's other Italian allies in the south to his side. So
Of
from
course.
here, the path was clear. Hannibal had to move south.
Of course.
Just one problem. There were two main routes Hannibal could take
Yeah,
to move south.
that looks fun.
And wouldn't you know it?
Hey,
that's
listen, man. He already crossed the Alps He already crossed the Alps once. I mean, come on, just do it again. I mean, it couldn't be that hard. I mean, if he can't do it, skill issue.
exactly where the two new Roman consuls had taken fortified positions. If Hannibal tried to move on them, he'd be fighting from a disadvantaged position and could be bottled in. There is a third option.
Okay.
Tell me. We could
go
move through
underground,
this vast
so-
impassable marshland flooded with dirty, stinky, disease-infested water that at times would come up to our necks. But there's no way we would attempt that, right? That'd be crazy, right?
You're saying this to the same man who decided to cross the Alps in the snow, in the thick ice. What do you think is going to happen next? Yeah.
Hannibal? Hannibal's 4-day trek
Yeah.
across the Arno marshlands was hell on earth.
Yeah, I'm
Almost
sure it
as
was.
crazy as when he crossed the Alps.
Yeah.
Imagine 3 full
Almost
days
as
unable
funny.
to sit or lie down, because there's nowhere to sit or lie down. Meaning 4 full days without sleep, slugging through.
While
heavy
he's
mud.
chilling, of
You
course.
contract cholera. Your foot falls off.
The soldiers and whatnot, and the commoners suffering while the powerful people are chilling. Some things just don't change.
And Jim Bob directly in front of you won't stop pooping in your path. In fact,
Okay.
everybody's pooping in your path.
Okay,
Some
that's a
delirious,
little
sleepless
disgusting.
men would see clumps of mud and say, "Man, I could just sink into that." And then they would. When pack animals died, it gave nearby men a chance to rest, but only for a few moments before they were whipped back into line. Even Hannibal himself
sounds terrible.
couldn't escape the torture of it.
Oh.
Hey Hannibal, if we see a Starbucks, can we stop? I need to take a leak.
Oh. What happened to his eye? They did say something about disease
Jeez,
infested.
Hannibal. Looks like you picked up a nasty eye
Bro, the
infection.
doctor's even in
Normally
it.
for
It's
this
funny.
sort of thing, we just wash it out with some clean water. But as
We
you
don't
can see,
have any
water
clean
everywhere,
water.
but it's full of Jim Bob's poop. No
Okay, that's
worries,
so
Doc.
disgusting.
I'll just take care of it myself. That'll be $3,000. When the now possibly one-eyed Hannibal
Did he actually? No. Somebody has to fact check it. Did he actually just stab himself in the eye and said, "You know what?" And then the doctor charged him $3,000, which is wild, but typical Americans know. Bro, he is made of something different. He's him.
and
He's
his army
Hannibal.
emerged from the swamp.
Hannibal.
They were shattered.
I just came up with a new term. He's Hannibal. I said that. He's Hannibal. Hannibal. I said that.
But he had just managed to slip
Himiny.
50,000 men right past the Romans
I'm
into
sorry.
rich Etrurian lands
Ooh.
where he could replenish his supplies, and his Celt
Looks
allies
pretty.
could go crazy,
Okay.
securing Roman loot and booty.
Okay.
As fields and villages went up in flames,
No, we like that
one Roman
booty.
consul couldn't help but notice the hot-headed Flaminius, feeling it
Oh,
was his
snap.
responsibility to protect these lands, rather than waiting for his co-consul to come
That's the
join
noise
him,
he makes.
immediately left to go chase Hannibal.
Yeah, do it.
This
No,
Flaminius
kill him.
was an
him.
interesting character.
I'm
He
sorry.
was what the Romans called a new man. He came
Oh.
from the lower plebeian classes of Roman society, and as a result, he reportedly had kind of a screw-you attitude to the establishment, and
Okay.
a big old arrogant chip on his shoulder.
Okay.
Picture Sid Vicious wearing a toga. That's
Oh.
Flaminius. And
How on earth
Hannibal,
did he create that
thanks to
image?
his spies, knew everything. Just
Of
as
course
with
he did.
Longus,
Bro, Hannibal is
knew
just-
Flaminius was just the kind
Hannibal is the final boss, is what he is. Hannibal is just the final boss. That's what he is. He's the final boss.
of man he could lure into a trap. Hannibal led
Bro is the villain who doesn't lose. You know what I'm saying?
Flaminius to the entrance of a narrow pass along the north shore of Lake Trasimene. Flaminius watched as Hannibal's army entered the pass. I've done it. I've spotted the enemy. Sir? That big follow us sign. Seems kind of like they're trying to lure you in. Yes, Gareth, and I'm taking the bait. Sir, this really seems like a trap. Yeah.
Why are the Romans so dumb? Why are they all just so dumb? Why does their society just produce people, mass produce people who are dumb? Why is everyone arrogant? Is it because it's Rome and they just figure we can't die? I mean, we got infinite people. Like, why is everybody so dumb?
Yes, Gareth, and I'm falling for it.
Of
Daylight
course.
was fading, so for now, the
I wouldn't
Romans set
expect
up
anything
camp.
different.
The two armies encamped across the lake from one another, and
If Hannibal wanted to gloat and jump up and down and scream that he's God, I'd be like, honestly, valid. Because what is this?
night fell over the two camps. In the morning, Flaminius would catch up to Hannibal, and he would be the hero of Rome. For now, the Romans got nice and comfy in their beds.
Of course.
Good night, Flaminius.
Yeah,
Good night,
he's
Rome.
probably not waking back up.
Good evening, Hannibal.
Yeah. You
During
know, this
the
boy got night vision.
Hannibal ordered total stealth.
He's not waking back up, is he?
As tens of thousands of troops
My cheeks look red. They're not.
scaled the wooded hills above the pass,
Oh, gosh.
completely undetected by Rome's scouts. Let's go, girls. Flaminius took off across the lake shore to try to catch Hannibal. As he did, even the weather seemed to be on Hannibal's side. A thick fog rose from the surface of the lake, obscuring visibility. Look at this.
This is my
perfect.
I give up
The
face.
mist will obscure our approach. Hannibal will never see me coming.
Yeah.
Sir? Why does it sound like 50,000 Carthaginians are charging down the hill towards us? You mean 50,000 Carthaginians are charging right into my trap?
And he's
The
dead.
Romans found themselves completely hemmed in on all sides. With zero visibility in the fog, the fighting was terrifying and chaotic. Troops were pushed into the lake in their heavy armor, where they were either cut down or drowned. And Flaminius, who likely stood out like a sore thumb in his consul attire, caught the attention of one Celt warrior, with his head possibly swirling with thoughts of how the Romans had decimated his homeland. According to the ancient writers, this Celt took his chance.
Somebody tried to Assassin's Creed him. And he got him, too.
In the 3-hour
Assassinated.
massacre, 15,000 Romans were killed, and an equal number captured. An entire army completely wiped out, along with their consul. During the battle, the Roman vanguard had managed to break through at the front and climbed the hill above the fog. When the mist cleared, what they saw was a blood-red lake and a sea of Roman bodies. Worse yet,
This
when
is
the
the
other
saddest
consuls
thing
sent
I've
cavalry
ever
to
seen.
try to aid Flaminius's
Bro,
doomed
how is Rome
legions,
coming back
they
from this?
too
Are they
were
coming back
caught
from this?
and defeated. A double disaster.
Servilius, your only hope. Yeah, I would be freaking out
Rome
if I was
went
you
into
too.
a frenzy.
Yeah.
For the second
Yeah, you
time,
should be.
Hannibal had completely decimated an entire Roman army.
Yeah.
Romans were dying by the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Common citizens began flocking to the city for safety.
Yeah.
Women waited by the city gates in tears, hoping to hear news of loved ones. This one man, having just led his battered army across the Alps the previous year, now stood less than 100 miles from Rome. To this point, he had been a problem. Now, Hannibal was a crisis.
Yeah.
And in a crisis, Rome
He would have been a
took
bro.
desperate-
He would have been a crisis the second I heard that this fool crossed the Alps. I would have been like, "Oh no, heck no, we need to run." Crossing that, nah.
measures. They actually had a system in place when dealing with an emergency of this magnitude. They would forgo their two consul power sharing
Yeah,
system
you should.
and instead temporarily give one man near total power and authority to
Julius
be as
Caesar.
decisive as he needed and hopefully
Julius
salvage the
Caesar?
situation. This all-powerful position in Rome's government had a name: dictator. It's actually
Julius Caesar?
where we get the word. But unlike modern dictators, Roman ones didn't score perfect rounds of golf or ride bears through the Siberian tundra. They held their power for just 6 months before they were required to give it up. And in Rome's hour of need, the man chosen to be dictator in 217 BC,
Julius
one of
Caesar?
the most highly esteemed members of the Roman Senate,
Julius Caesar?
Fabius Maximus.
Oh.
So how would Fabius, as dictator,
Thought I knew something. You have no idea how excited I was gonna be if it was actually Julius Caesar. Maybe he's not till later. I don't know. You know how excited I was gonna be. I was gonna start screaming. I was gonna start jumping up and down if it was actually Julius Caesar. Slow.
confront Hannibal? Well, Fabius understood that marching all of Rome's young men straight into a one-man meat grinder was bleeding Rome dry.
Yeah.
Hannibal
Is
was
Fabius
clearly
actually
too
smart
dangerous
is
to
the
face
question.
head-on in battle. However, he was also stuck in their territory with dwindling manpower and forced to live off the land. It wasn't a
It's true.
sustainable position to be in long-term, and he could only remain there for so long.
Mr. Beast Burger is
So,
crazy.
if Rome avoided battle with Hannibal to prevent any more crippling
Oh,
losses,
I see what they
and
mean.
instead simply
Drag it
maneuvered
out.
around him, blocking supplies and taking out smaller contingents where possible, Hannibal would gradually become weaker.
Okay, that's not bad.
While they
Drag
would
it out.
gradually become stronger.
Y'all have time on your
and
side.
so Fabius presented his new idea to the Roman Senate. Okay, guys, I have an idea. See if you can follow me here, okay? Instead of fighting Hannibal, when he approaches,
We run away.
we run.
Yeah, it sounds
away.
terrible. Yeah, I was about to say, they think that sounds terrible.
Fabius's strategy couldn't have been any less Roman. Romans were meant to march headfirst into battle, not run away from it. It seemed cowardly, and Fabius was extremely unpopular. At this point, Hannibal was
Doesn't he still have
continuing
absolute
south.
power though? So
He
he's
had
like,
to stay on the
screw
move
y'all,
to
I don't really
keep
give a
his army
crap.
fed, and
We're
he was
doing it.
still aiming to undermine Rome's alliances in the south. As he went, in a calculated display of aggression, he devastated the Roman countryside and killed many Romans, all in plain sight of Fabius and his army.
I have to say, this is the type of stuff that I kind of, feel some type of way about. Because, like, he killed many Romans, but I'm like, bro, a lot of these individual people had nothing to do with it. You know how far away from Rome they are? They had nothing to do with it. That's one of the problems I have with war today is that, it's all these powerful people who are making the decisions. It's the powerful people that decide to attack you. And for some odd reason, us, the people who didn't choose it, might not even like who our leader is, have to suffer the consequence. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, some of these Romans that got killed were probably just chilling, probably didn't give two licks about politics or whatever, or Carthage or whatever happened in their history. And now they have some guy named Hannibal coming over here who has no eye because he cut it out, who crossed the Alps because he's insane, who crossed some, mushland, grassland, something, whatever it was, because he's insane. And he's here to kill them, their families, and burn it all down. And it's just kind of like, bro, I didn't do anything to you. They did it. I didn't do anything to you. And so it's one of those things that just like bothers me because, like, bro, why do I have to suffer? I didn't have anything to do with it. Go kill the people that did it. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't do anything.
You're just gonna
I'm just
stand here?
making my farm.
Yes. Are you a coward? No. But Fabius, that's my farm.
Oh.
Well, McDonald, thank you for your sacrifice.
What do you
You're a hero
mean?
now. Think of the stories you'll tell.
About how I sat here.
Had a farm.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I didn't see the joke set up. Oh my gosh.
Shut up. But you know
Oh.
who else hated Fabius's strategy? Hannibal. He understood the danger
Yeah, I'm
he was
sure
in.
he did.
Turning Rome's allies against her required Hannibal to keep smashing the Romans in battle. He couldn't do that if Fabius wouldn't fight him. Multiple times, Hannibal tried to goad Fabius into a fight, but Fabius wouldn't bite.
Yeah.
Failing that, he tried to turn Rome against Fabius.
Oh.
According to the writer Livy, he burned down all the farms he could, but any farm he learned was owned by Fabius himself.
Oh, wow.
He left well alone. Hey,
Oh.
Fabius, why isn't he burning down your farm? You got some sort of a secret deal with him? What? Of course not.
Hey, Hannibal! What? Burn my farm too, please! What? Burn my farm too, please! No!
Of course.
Remember our secret deal!
No, you little donkey.
Well, you gotta admit, he's a genius. Hannibal's problem, however, was that he had to stay on the move to keep supplying his army from the local lands.
Yeah.
At one point, he entered Campania, one of the richest regions of Italy.
Okay.
Great for resupplying, and great for showing up Fabius in front of Rome's South Italian allies. but he was caught in a valley, and Fabius quickly moved to block his escapes.
Oh.
We've got him. After
I
he's
don't
used
think
up
you got
all the
him.
valley's supplies, he'll starve. Sir? What are all those lights leaving the valley? Is he trying to escape? Lights in plain view. Well, that's a trap if I've ever seen one.
And we're falling for it!
Suspecting a trap, Fabius refused to budge. But other Romans in the valley rushed to confront Hannibal, only to find the Carthaginian army was actually just a herd of oxen
Of
with
course.
torches tied to their heads. They then found themselves caught in an ambush.
Dumb.
With the Romans distracted, Hannibal's army was able to slip away into the night, unopposed. Classic Hannibal. For all his inaction, the dissatisfied Romans mockingly dubbed him Fabius the Delayer. But the thing is, Fabius's strategy was probably the best thing he could have done.
Yeah.
He was right that constant encounters with Hannibal were bleeding Rome dry.
Yeah.
And the time he took allowed Rome some breathing room to recover their forces when they desperately needed to, while putting Hannibal into an increasingly more difficult position.
Exactly.
Modern historians view Fabius's strategy as generally a good idea.
Yeah.
To this day, the act of not engaging an enemy, but instead gradually wearing them down, is still referred to as the Fabian strategy.
Oh, it
But
is?
when Fabius's
I didn't know
term
that.
finally came to an end,
They
the
said, "Get
Senate
outta here."
couldn't have been happier. It was time to start fighting again. However, they probably had a little chat about how they were going to go about it. See, Hannibal's tactics up until now had been very sneaky. Or, if you're a Roman, you might say dishonorable. I'm sick of it. Every time we try to take this guy down, we march straight at him. But then, oh no, Hannibal's hiding in a bush.
It's because it's like they're still trying to fight in modern, not modern, but in current tactics, and Hannibal's over here reinventing the wheel, and it's making them very upset. Yeah.
Hannibal's got 30,000 men up a tree. At this point, I'm not convinced my wife isn't just Hannibal wearing a disguise. Cooey. Look,
Well, she might
this
be.
time,
Yeah,
we
you know,
obviously
these
have to
days. Let me
switch
stop
something
playing.
up. Now, granted, we're Roman, so we're gonna march straight at him without
Of course.
thinking. That can't be helped. It's in our blood.
Of course.
But
But
I have a proposition.
what's the
This
proposition?
time, when we march straight at him, we do it with a massive army. I'm talking like 80,000 men. It won't matter what kind of shenanigans he pulls. He can hide in all the bushes he wants. There's no way.
I'm gonna say it one time, maybe twice, so those in the back can hear me. I am personally a firm believer in quality over quantity. Let's go back to what Ra's al Ghul said in Batman Begins. You can fight 6 men, but I can teach you to engage 600. That wasn't right at all. But like, you get the point. You get what I'm trying to say. Quality over quantity. One man. If one man can take on 10 of these other men, then 100 men can take on 10,000. Wait, I don't know if the math's right on that, but you know what I'm saying.
He can possibly beat off
Hey, yo.
80,000 men. Grow up. You know what I mean? And so it was.
Yeah,
With 2
okay, so we were meant
consuls,
to-
Rome put together a massive army.
2
the
consuls
biggest
again?
Rome
Why
had
not a
ever fielded,
dictator?
To put Hannibal away once and for all.
Not gonna work.
To gather the men required.
There's a third part, I'm pretty
2/3
sure.
of them ended up being completely inexperienced.
Of course.
But how much experience does it take to be expendable war fodder?
Right.
As this massive army set out in the summer of 216 BC, the Romans knew they needed to win this battle. Just one victory over Hannibal would likely be enough to end his entire campaign. And this time, their
You know what I just realized? Rome still has like a long time to fall, doesn't it? Because it's 16 BC. BC stands for before Christ. Rome is still around during Christ, I think. Am I right? It's still around when Jesus dies or whatever. Aren't they the ones that kill him? Why can't I remember? Don't ask questions, right? Don't ask questions. Why I can't remember. I'm about to get schooled, aren't I? But yeah, there's that. So yeah, so Rome still has a long time to go. So Julius Caesar probably ain't coming for a minute. Now I'm about to Google.
overwhelming manpower gave them confidence they could do it. Hannibal had taken position at the town of Cannae, where he had captured an important Roman supply depot. With Fabius gone, Hannibal knew a battle was likely coming, and he was eager to fight it on his terms. But when his men looked out at the Roman camp, they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
That
army's huge. There's no way we can possibly beat off all these men.
Hannibal,
How
like,
are we
fool, if you
gonna
don't
beat
stop
off
touching
all
me.
these men?
Hey,
You
yo.
know what I mean. I think he's right, Hannibal. Hannibal is then said to have replied, Gisco, my friend, don't worry. There may be a lot of them, but amongst their ranks, there's not a single man named Gisco. This joke was apparently so funny that his officers began to laugh and laugh. And when his men in the camp heard the laughter, they were like, hey, they're laughing. I guess that means we're gonna win the battle.
Oh.
Yippee! As for the Romans, the consuls were another pairing between an inexperienced hothead and a wise scholar. Although
course.
the main historian from this era was good friends with Paulus's family, so take that with a grain of salt. On his
I don't know
day
who
of
Paulus
command,
is.
the rash and hasty Varro,
I don't know any history,
despite
man.
the apparent pleas from Paulus, sent the
why I'm
army
watching
out
this.
for battle. And when Hannibal saw this, he did the same. And here comes the single largest battle of the Second Punic War, and one of the most renowned battles in history, the infamous Battle of Cannae.
I feel like I've heard of
In
it,
all the
but I don't
pre-battle
know.
maneuvering, Hannibal was able to ensure his army was fighting from the south. This
Okay.
meant the seasonal dust-carrying winds were to his back.
Of
and
course,
blowing
of course,
directly
because
into the
Hannibal's just like
faces
that. Hannibal's
of
just
the
like that, man. I
Romans.
don't know what you want me to
Like I
say.
said,
This man's just crazy.
Control.
Control.
After 2 years in Italy,
Ridiculous.
Hannibal's infantry had dwindled to about 40,000.
Oh, gosh.
The Romans possibly outnumbered him 2-1. Their army was so big that their maniples stretched far deeper than they normally would. The Romans planned to charge Hannibal.
Bro, the Romans over here got me about to crash out. That's what I'm saying, bro. Hannibal's so good, they got me about to crash out. It's ridiculous.
Thin, weak line like a battering ram and break it. They also chose a narrow battlefield in the hopes it would prevent Hannibal's far superior cavalry from being able to outmaneuver them. They wanted an honorable battle where pure strength rather than trickery would decide the outcome. If
not gonna
Hannibal
happen,
had
is it?
his say, however,
Hannibal's about to win
trickery
somehow, isn't he?
might end up having a lot to do with it. He ordered his line to position themselves as an outward bulge, with his weakest troops at the very center. Just behind them, out of sight from the Romans, stood the elite Libyan infantry, waiting for their moment to strike. The battle commenced as the massive Roman troops smashed into the Carthaginian center. The shape of Hannibal's line ensured the overwhelming weight of the Romans hit his weakest troops first, and they were pushed back. Hannibal's outward bulge reversed inward, with the Romans being funneled in towards the weak center.
He's like a
Hannibal
catapult
had
sort of
positioned
thing going.
himself at the center to
Oh,
encourage
really?
the troops to hold out as long as possible against the Roman onslaught. Because while the Romans were unleashing carnage on the center, Hannibal's cavalry needed time to do their job. The heavy cavalry on the left, after a barbaric fight, sent the Roman horse packing, with the consul Paulus even sustaining a severe head injury. He managed to move into the center to keep the battle going. Then, the heavy cavalry turned and approached Varro's cavalry from behind. At the first sight of the coming Carthaginian envelopment, Varro ordered his horsemen to flee the battlefield. The
Really?
Carthaginians had
Wow.
won the cavalry battle. But back in the center, according to some accounts, Hannibal's line did eventually end up caving to the massive weight of the Romans, and they
Okay.
began to flee.
Okay.
The Romans pushed deeper, and organization within the army likely broke down as they became a giant mass, trying to massacre the fleeing Carthaginians.
Okay.
They didn't realize that they were playing right into Hannibal's hands.
Yeah, because now
At
he has
that
this.
moment, Hannibal's
elite-
elite units, having done no fighting yet, and therefore fresh as a daisy, turned and smashed into the Roman
Of course.
sides. Many of these troops were wearing Roman helmets and armor they had picked up after previous battles, and the confused Romans may not have even realized they were the enemy. As Hannibal managed to regain the composure of his center and encourage them back into the fight, the Carthaginian cavalry swooped in from behind. And look at what lies before you. A
Encircled.
military general's wet dream. The total encirclement of a much larger force by a much smaller force. The Romans were trapped. Hannibal had unbelievably managed to use their own superiority in numbers against them. Rather than simply encircling them, he had actually allowed them to use their own immense power and push themselves into an encircled position. This was the genius of Cannae. And with that, the annihilation began. For hours, the Carthaginians slaughtered the helpless Romans from all sides. The terrified Romans were so tightly packed that at times they couldn't even lift their arms to defend themselves. The killing went on so long that the Carthaginians became exhausted from the non-stop massacre. And by the time the butchery came to an end, the grim toll spoke for itself. To Hannibal's several thousand lost, the Romans suffered 60 to 80,000 dead or captured. Yet another entire army wiped out by Hannibal. Many high-ranking Romans met their end at Cannae. Paulus, for one, but also 80 senators and more. It's been estimated that 20% of Rome's male population aged 18 to 50 died at Cannae. This was it. Hannibal's vengeance. The stunned Carthaginians, as they searched for their own survivors among the dead, couldn't believe the sight of it. An estimated 30,000 gallons of blood now lay spilled on the battlefield. Rome's defeat at Cannae sent shockwaves throughout Italy. Just as Hannibal had hoped, most of southern Italy now defected to his side, including the second largest city on the peninsula. Wow, Hannibal, this is incredible. What could possibly come next? Next? Jim Bob. I've killed 150,000 Romans. I've turned her allies against her. That's it. That's vengeance. So let me tell you what comes next. Rome surrenders. Their territories are reduced. We recover our lost islands. And Carthage dominates the Mediterranean once again. But sir, what if they don't surrender? Jim Bob, did you miss what just happened? Of course they're gonna surrender. Throughout his campaign, Hannibal had shown himself to
I don't know what to say. I don't have any words. I mean, I know you're supposed to. This is supposed to be the part where I'm like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I don't have any words. I'm speechless, completely. I'm genuinely speechless. I've never heard of this in my entire life. What the? I don't have any words, man. I don't have any. I just don't have
very
any.
adept at reading the Roman mind. But if he now thought that Rome might surrender, it was the first time he severely underestimated
Yeah, I
them.
didn't think they were gonna
And he
surrender
was
either.
about to discover an extremely inconvenient fact about Rome.
What's that? They don't give up.
Never surrenders.
Yeah.
At a Roman survivors' camp near Cannae, one young officer overheard some troops discussing how they would flee Rome. Drawing his sword, he threatened to cut down any man that would abandon Rome in its hour of need. That officer was Scipio the Younger. But soon enough, the Romans would come to call him Scipio Africanus,
Oh,
the hero
snap.
of Rome.
Oh, we finally got a proper match for Hannibal. Let's freaking go. Finally, I want somebody that can actually fight this man instead of this man just freaking coming in and just using his powers of ba-boom, ba-boom, you know? Bro, this whole video, I don't even know what to say, bro. First off, Oversimplified's goated. Second off, how come I never heard of this, bro? Where's school at, bro? School sucks. Like, honestly, America needs to get something better, bro. School sucks. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Whoa, bro. Hannibal's insane. This video's insane. The things that happen is insane. We're gonna watch the next thing. I'm probably gonna watch it tomorrow. It's insane. Bro, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna have to find a thumbnail. I'm not gonna be able to find a thumbnail because it's just crazy. I might do the part where he stabs his eye out, but that's not even the craziest part. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll see you guys next time. Like, subscribe. We're gonna watch more. We're gonna watch more Oversimplified just in general. Like, I know it's been a while since I posted and all that, but like, I'm gonna do it. And if you watch to the end, I want you to comment something. I want you to comment. I want you to comment. He's him. Comment. He's him. If you watched all the way to the end. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you. Peace and love, man. Just peace and love. That's what we need. That's what somebody should have said in this video. Peace and love, man. What the crap, bro?